I surely don't want a white baby. And she's just like, well, your comments verge on harassment. Are we ready?
Are you ready?
Okay.
I think we should get into it.
So let's go back to freshman year. I'm at a new school, Heron High School. It doesn't matter. Uh, but no, I'm at Heron High School, and I'm telling jokes as a young comic would do. I think that being at a new school is stressful, and what makes a young comic, what do jokes more than stress? So I was telling a lot of jokes all the time, and we happen to be at a very liberal school, where racism is not accepted. I shouldn't be playing with my keys. Racism isn't accepted, and neither is people who don't agree with any liberal views. I mean, I agreed with them, but the point is I was in art class and I was telling a joke, and this was the joke. It wasn't a good joke. This is why I'm mad that my school got mad at me. They happened to almost kick me out for this joke. And it's just one of my bad jokes. I mean, tons of bad jokes. Everyone has bad jokes, but it's a good joke. Okay? The joke is I was saying, I want a brown baby. Anyone else? Like, I want a brown one. Like, a brown baby because they're cuter than any other baby. Brown babies are so much cuter. Like, white babies, they got all the veins in their forehead and, like, you can see through them. It's like, who tattooed the baby? You know? That was the joke. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was good enough for... Anyway, the joke. Someone complained to the teachers, and they told me, the teacher talked to me at lunch, and they said, were you talking about wanting a black baby? Is what she said, a black baby? Black babies are better than white babies. I was like, I wasn't talking about race at all. I was talking about brown. Just the color of their skin being brown, which is like at least 2 races. It's maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. I haven't counted. I'm not racist, so I don't think about that very much. But she was like, no, you said black, which is racist, because I don't know why she has a deep voice, but brown babies. And I was like, well, brown babies are cuter, and I'm somehow gonna get a brown baby instead of a white one. Like, I surely don't want a white baby. And she's just like, well, your comments verge on harassment. It's like, what? Were all the white babies offended? I'm sorry it harassed you. But this called bad news bears, because now she has a meeting with my parents about me wanting a brown baby.
First of many.
First of many meetings with my parents about jokes, but this one was kind of the cusp. She claimed it was racist, that it wasn't acceptable for the whole school and everything, and how I was being against the community guidelines, and how I shouldn't be being a comic in class. I should be doing a student in class. And so I wrote an 8-page monologue to read in this thing. You may wonder why I'm reading this from a paper. In answering that question, I have to tell you the whole story. As of this year, I have met my first backlash from a teacher concerning my jokes. The arbiter of this backlash is Miss Halton. Side note, a bitch. I knew there was going to be
And you read this in front of all the teachers that were
including
gathered?
Miss Halton. I knew there was going to be a problem when I told a simple joke in Miss Halton's class, in first culture classes. The punchline of the joke was being, Chick-fil-A isn't good. The punchline of the joke being, Chick-fil-A is so good that even gay people eat there. True. This joke was an example of taboo irony and juxtaposition literary comedy devices, which is, I keep referencing this, because I'm showing that there's literary reasons and math behind all my jokes that are insensitive. Miss Halton, being the concerned teacher that she is, pulled me out of the class to talk in the hallway. She said, and I'm paraphrasing, "You can't say that. It'll offend the gay students." I responded, "The two students that I told the joke to are gay." And she kind of got awkward. She continued to talk for a few minutes until it was resolved. The aforementioned students assured her after class that it was funny and not offensive to them. After that, Miss Halton and I have had one class where I was out of line, and yes, I was on a comedic role, considering I started a new medication and I was out of it. I was rolling. Like, I made fun of her heart problems. Anyway. I was on a new medication. I was brought down to the deans for that, and I apologize as I should have. I'm going through this because this is all bullshit for 8 pages worth. Miss Halton forgave me, but I am constantly villainized for whatever I say. From what I have found, Miss Halton sees jokes as a weakness. I am not the only student in her class who falls victim to her hypochondria. Anything that makes the class laugh, even without intention to be funny, is immediately shut down. Leaf, Noah, and I myself have all gotten the passive-aggressive, go into the hallway for a simple laugh. For a while, verbal go-to-deans, walking in eggshells. I'm sailing. This is what I thought was really funny, is these bipolar actions remind me of my sister, which is frankly a sour subject right now, because she was in the hospital for attempting suicide at this point. But don't worry. This leads me to why we are all here. I told a funny joke. Oh. No. Then I'm explaining what the joke was. And then after of that, I say a long thing about how racism and all that stuff. And at the end thing, I said, "White people, am I right?" Which I think is funny. Here's the fun part. Miss Roberts approached me at lunch about the student getting offended at the joke, and we talked for the entire lunch about these main points. They are all paraphrased, of course. People think you may be racist. Jokes like this one I mentioned would not be acceptable in the real world. You can't say anything that might offend somebody. This borders on harassment. You can't reference race in your jokes because Heron is a diverse school. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick paraphrase of each one of these things. The people think you're racist. Brown is not a race. That's basically the whole thing. The end of that is I'm purely describing the level of melanin in the said hypothetical comedy baby's skin. The second being jokes like this one cannot be mentioned in the real world. I said, "What is this real world you're talking about? Is this not the real world? When I get out of the school, will people suddenly become sensitive? The world I live in, people enjoy laughing at funny things. People accept my comedy. All my other teachers even accept my comedy. All of them. Are they not living in the real world, or are they just special?" Third, you can't say this because someone might be offended. I disagree. Anything you can say might offend somebody. And then I talk about, to keep Heron a free marketplace of ideas, we can't censor the ones that we don't like. Simple. Miss Robert constantly Miss Roberts, probably shouldn't say her name, but it doesn't say her first name, Amanda. Keep referencing the real world. I have found the real world I live in, and people don't censor themselves for others who are offended. If someone can't handle a joke, they won't be able to handle the world, what the world has to throw at them. Fourth, if this borders on harassment. Nope, it doesn't. The definition of harassment is, according to the Farlex Legal Index, is a act of systematic or continued unwanted or annoying actions on a party or groups, including threats and demands. Not repeated, no threats, no demands, unwanted actions, nope, systematic, maybe verbal abuse. You could argue that, even though it's not directed at anybody. However, not repeated, not harassment. Sorry. Fifth, considering you can't reference your jokes because Heron's a diverse school, I am unimaginably baffled at this remark because it fits the definition of racism. I will not change my jokes based on the race of the audience. Race is not taken into account because funny is funny and people are people. I know you didn't mean the remark as racist. I didn't mean the remark as racist, but this shows our school has always has a ways to go before racial equality, and my jokes have a theme of equality that should be embraced. This is the fun part. It's a little bit depressing because it's true. However, I think it's a big fuck you in the face of all of those teachers. I digress. When anyone says that there are problems with my jokes, I see it as a problem with me, because where my jokes stop and my personality starts is a non-existent line. My jokes are my personality, and my personality is my jokes. As I thought deeply about this, I found myself thinking about suicide. I had not experienced these deep suicidal thoughts since the last time I was bullied for my personality. I can't kill myself, though. I figured this out. The last time. I can't leave my friends and family behind to live in a world where they experience sadness, anger, fear at watching other people die, because I would not be there to cheer them up, to make them laugh, to make them happy, make happy. That is my goal. I wrote this down to hold myself back from being myself. And as this script is coming to an end, I warn you, my personality might come out, and I might be funny, so trigger warning. I apologize for wasting your time. And, they were silent for the next few minutes. It was divine. And I walked out there with my head held high because they couldn't really go against all my stuff. And then I did a show at that school where I did that joke, or jokes like it. A whole song like it, actually, called White Boys. Anyone can get offended at anything. And you should be able to get offended. And you should get offended, okay? But you got to know that that's your feeling and that's your weakness, right? And that's fine. Everybody gets offended, and that's okay. But the person that's offending you is not responsible for that, okay? And so that's that. My name's Jeff Goltz, and this was my story.
I'm not using that.
Hey, what is it? What am I supposed to say?
I just put your name in there.
Hi, I'm Jeff Goltz.